She met me at the door barefoot, laughing, towel over her shoulder, kitchen smelling like roasted chicken and garlic. "You're early," Emily said, pulling me in. I was just about to mash the potatoes. I set my bag down. "I called last night." She blinked too fast. "Right, my phone died." I plugged it in and crashed. I studied her face. Nothing. Just that warm, tidy smile she wore for holidays and good news. If I'd known where all this was headed, I'd have shut the door and slept at the airport. I let it go on the surface. We ate. She poured me iced tea, slid the biggest piece of pie onto my plate, asked about Dallas and the warehouse audit. I watched the way her eyes kept scanning the counter where her phone lay face down, like a nervous cat waiting for thunder. When it buzzed once, she covered the screen with her palm and bumped it into a drawer. "Spam," she said, too bright. "Sure," I replied, passing salt. "Spam always knows when dinner's ready." She laughed, and the sound was familiar enough to dull the edge. After dishes, she folded my shirts from the suitcase while I told a story about a forklift that wouldn't start. She kissed my shoulder, the casual, practiced kind. Normal. Exactly the kind of normal a man wants to live in. "You good?" I asked finally, leaning on the doorway. Home." She snapped a drawer shut. "Happy you're home." I kept an even tone. "Then humor me. Next time, if your phone dies, text me from the iPad. Or email. Or smoke signals." Her mouth twitched. "Right. Will do. Tonight." "I'm not pushing," I added. "But I noticed." She nodded and changed the subject. We went to bed with the window cracked to the backyard. She slept curled to my side like always. I stared at the ceiling and made a note. One pebble in the shoe. Don't ignore pebbles. They ruin long walks. The next morning, I moved my travel dates on the fridge calendar where she tracked meals and cleaning and nonsense nobody else in the neighborhood cared about. I shifted a week-long trip 2 days later so I could catch a meeting with a supplier. She glanced at the change when she poured coffee. "You never move things on the board," she said. "Started today," I answered. "Makes my week cleaner." That was my first rule change. Small. Public. No debate. She chirped, "Okay," and put the mug in my hand. No pushback. Noted. We did our Saturday run to the grocery store. In the cereal aisle, her phone buzzed again. She checked the screen and turned the phone sideways. "Spam?" I asked, picking oatmeal. "Yup. Same car warranty guys," she said, fist crinkling the bag. The joke was lazy, but she sold it with a head tilt, and I let it pass. Back home, she folded laundry in the living room while some home show argued about backsplash tiles. I walked by her phone on the coffee table. No lock screen previews, just a clean clock. She'd turned off notifications that show content. "New. Hungry again?" she asked, catching my stop. "For information," I said, and held her stare a beat. She put the shirt down. "What are you doing?" she asked softly. "Watching," I replied. "Because I care." She exhaled. "Don't turn this into something." "I'm not," I said. "Just don't make me guess." She stood, wrapped me up, pressed her cheek to my chest. "I know," she murmured. "I'm sorry about last night. That's all." I nodded into her hair. An apology, soft enough to dampen questions. I didn't fully buy it, but I recognized a tactic. When a man names a pebble, lay a rug. Sunday night we grilled in the yard. She joked about me torching the burgers. Our neighbor, Vince, leaned over the fence with a beer. "Look who's back," he called. "Mr. Frequent Flyer." Emily waved. "I keep him fed so he keeps flying." I drawled. "She feeds me so I don't wander into traffic." Vince laughed and saluted his beer. Emily shot me a look that said stay in the bit. I stayed. Monday, I flew out. I left early, didn't wake her, left a note on the stove that said, "Lock the back gate and drink water." On the plane, I checked my messages. 3 from her. "Love you. Be safe. Send me hotel info." I sent it. She sent a selfie with a spatula like a sword. The man beside me, middle-aged, tried to make small talk. I pretended to sleep. In Jacksonville, a week of meetings and forklifts and bad coffee. She kept up the steady stream. Pictures of the dog next door, a new recipe, an update on the HOA arguing about fence heights. Every lunch break I called. She picked up cheerful and busy. Normal. The pebble felt smaller. On Thursday night, it didn't. I called at 9. Straight to voicemail. Called again. Twice. She declined the second call, then nothing. A minute later, her iMessages turned green. The little switch people hit when they need privacy. I walked the hotel hall, shoes loud on carpet over concrete. I called again. Declined. Then her phone went silent like it had left the building. I sent an email. Call me. I texted, you okay? She didn't answer. I sat by the vending machines in a building smell of cleaner and metal and waited until midnight. Nothing. At 1, I lay on top of the covers, shoes on. The ceiling buzzed with HVAC. At 4, I gave up. She called at 6 in the morning. Phone died, she said before I could speak. I fell asleep on the couch. Charger wasn't in the outlet. I'm sorry. Please don't be mad. I'm not mad, I replied flat. I'm not 5. So we're okay? She asked. We're talking, I said. Grab a car charger today. I will. Send me a picture of the charger when you buy it. I added. She paused 2 beats. Okay, she said slowly. I will. By noon, she sent a photo of a charger in a plastic bag on the passenger seat of her car. Price tag still on. I sent a thumb up. Initiative. Verification. Her return volley. Compliance photo. Noted. That night, in the hotel bar, the rep from a logistics company slid me a folder and said, we can knock 5% if you cut the doc appointments by noon. I shook on it. Business was simple. Home wasn't. On Friday, Emily messaged all day. Memes. Grocery lists. A shot of the new rosemary plant on the kitchen window. I finished work late, ordered a salad to the room, sat down to emails. At 10:32 p.m., my phone buzzed with a new contact request on Instagram. The name was Lena, friend of Emily. Lena was the one who laughed too hard at my dumb jokes at barbecues, who once asked what cologne I wore like she was writing a report. Her message was a single line. I don't want to hurt you, but I'm going to say it straight. I rolled my neck. I typed back, go ahead. Your wife is entertaining others when you're out, she wrote. I actually laughed. I typed, that's nonsense. She's busy alphabetizing our spices. A minute later, she sent photos. Not explicit. Nothing that would get someone fired. Just clear. My kitchen, my couch, my backyard string lights. Emily in a different dress than the one she'd shown me on FaceTime. A man leaning in a doorway with a dog tag chain. Another picture of a hand with a ring that wasn't mine holding a wine glass over my cutting board. Then screenshots of chat bubbles, dates lining up with my travel. Lena didn't talk. She dropped file after file like a copier spitting out truth. I asked, why are you sending me this? Because you seem like a decent man and I'm done pretending with her, she wrote. She brags. She sends me outfits. She sends me the timing. She laughs when you bring pies to the neighbors. I stared at the carpet pattern until it stopped moving. Then I opened my laptop, pulled my accounts up, and made 3 calls. First, to Tom, my attorney who'd helped me negotiate a warehouse lease 7 years ago. He picked up gruff. What's wrong? He asked. I need a clean exit plan, I said. Quiet, quick, no show. Children. No. Joint accounts. 1. Manageable. Property. House is in my name. Prenup exists. Tom's voice smoothed. We'll keep it simple. But you, my friend, need to act like life is fine. No speeches. Do not telegraph. Understood, I replied. I forwarded what Lena sent. He sighed. Not pretty, but useful. I'll draft. You, control all access. Start yesterday. I ended the call and moved my salary deposits to a separate account. I reduced the auto transfer that funneled extra money to the house account to cover basics only. I changed the smart lock code to a rotating schedule. I called the utility companies and updated contact preferences to me alone. I arranged a small storage unit 2 miles away. Logistics. Adult steps. Then I messaged Lena. Thank you. Dinner, my treat, when I'm back. I owe you a conversation. She answered with a simple, name a place. My goal is honesty. Back home Sunday night. Emily stage perfect. Home cooked. New candles. A cleaned out guest room for your gear when you prep for trips, she said, eyes big like I'd given her a puppy. Nice, I said, inspecting the folding table she'd set up. Good idea. I'm trying, she answered and reached for my hand. About the phone thing. I hate that I worried you. You did, I replied. So let's set new rules. I'm moving my travel schedule to a shared app. You keep your location on when I'm away. If your phone dies, you hit the laptop. She blinked 3 times like something was in her eye. That's a lot of tracking. That's a lot of reassurance, I countered. And if it's too much, We don't need to pretend we're on the same page. She swallowed. I said I'm trying. Then it's simple, I said. It makes my job easier. It helps me sleep. She nodded slowly. Illusion number one. She padded to the kitchen, plated me cake, set it in front of me with a fork and a napkin like a diner waitress. You're the only one who ever liked this frosting, she said. It was sweet and heavy and always too much. I ate 2 bites, complimented the effort, pushed the plate away. Later, she climbed into my lap on the couch. I missed you, she whispered. It read like a counteroffer to my new rules. I stroked her hair and kept my mouth shut. Distance without theater. She relaxed, certain she'd reset the board. I let her believe it. Monday morning, I left the house early without my usual note. On my way to work, I pulled into a storage facility and signed a month-to-month lease. I stacked a clean row of plastic bins inside with labels, documents, tools, mementos. I didn't bring much, just enough to make changes quick later without a scavenger hunt. At lunch, I set up dinner with Lena at a little place off the highway. No crowds. Neutral territory. I messaged Emily, running late, client call. She sent a thumbs up and a heart. From her, even hearts felt managerial now. Lena arrived in a denim jacket and a ponytail, looking like someone who could sell you a car or drive it faster than you. Thanks for meeting, I started. She cut in. I'm not proud of sending that, but I couldn't watch it anymore. I need to understand your angle, I replied. People don't set their friend on fire for fun. She straightened a napkin. I like you. I always have. You bring chairs back after barbecues. You fix the gate without asking anyone to notice. Watching her treat you like a layover made me crazy. Layover, I repeated, tasting the word. So which is it, saving me or trying to collect me? She held my eyes. Both. I let a beat sit. Honest, I figured you'd respect that, she said. If you hate me for it, fine. I won't send another thing. But I wasn't going to let you live in that museum of kindness she built while she held a second set of keys. I leaned back. Tom's preparing papers. I'm not here to gossip. I'm here to say thank you and to set terms. I won't be your rebound. I won't be anyone's prize. She smiled without showing teeth. I suspected. What are your terms? Friends, I said. Solid boundaries. You helped me out of a fog. For that, I'll always owe you. But I'm not starting anything until the ink is dry. Might be longer. Fine by me, she answered. I wanted you to see the game. You decide how you leave the table. We ordered salads. We talked about normal things. The plant nursery opening near the river, her brother's new dog, road construction that never ends. Halfway through, she pivoted back. What are you going to do at home? She asked. Act normal, I replied, while rearranging the walls. She tilted her head, meaning, budget's separated. House locks are on my schedule. Travel is exact. Access to me is earned, through respect, not through casseroles. She laughed once. You're serious. Always, I said, and I'll be where I say I am. If she asks, she gets simple answers. If she throws a scene, she gets distance. She'll test it, Lena warned. She hates losing the stage. Then I'll turn off the lights, I told her. We left the restaurant at 10. In the parking lot, she hugged me. If you don't want to be with me, say it clean, she said against my shoulder. I won't chase. I don't want to be with anyone right now, I answered. I can't be honest to someone else while I'm closing a chapter this loud. She stepped back. Then we're good. I have patience. I just don't have forever. Understood, I said, and opened her car door. We drove off in opposite directions. At home, Emily was on the couch, TV paused mid-scene. Client call run long? She asked. Yeah, I replied, slipping my keys into the ceramic bowl by the door. We had to shift delivery windows. She studied me. You smell like salad. Wild guess, I said. I ate one. She waited for me to volunteer more. I didn't. She pattered toward the kitchen and came back with a mug of tea. I've been thinking about your rules, she said, sitting cross-legged. Location sharing, it feels invasive. But I get why you want it. You don't have to agree, I said. You have to choose. This is what I need. If you can't give it, say so. She opened the phone settings and toggled the location on. She turned the screen so I could see. There, she said. Happy. Not a feeling I chase anymore, I replied. But it'll work. Next week, she switched strategies. She warmed up in public. At Vince's Saturday cookout, She draped herself over my arm and bragged about my negotiation in Jacksonville like she'd brokered the deal. Tell them how you shaved freight costs, she nudged me. It's boring, I said, cracking an ice cube in my teeth. He'll fall asleep and drop his beer. Vince's wife, Trish, watched the exchange. You too good? She asked lightly. We're organized, Emily jumped in. We have new systems. I nodded. Structure helps, I said. Emily kissed my cheek, loud, eyes darting to see who noticed. I caught Lena on the other side of the yard near the potato salad, chatting with Trish. She didn't look over. Good. A man needs his allies quiet. Emily turned the affection up like a thermostat. On Monday, she brought lunch to my office unannounced, set down a container of chicken and rice. This is sweet, I said, glancing at the clock. But I have a vendor coming in 5. Then I'll just say hi and go, she answered, and walked over to my whiteboard like she lived there. You need a bigger marker, she added, reading dates. My warehouse manager, Carl, stuck his head in. We still on for 2? He asked. Yeah, I said. And moving forward, anyone not on payroll schedules time to visit. Even you. I added, nodding at Emily. Her face flickered. Oh, she said softly. Sorry. No harm, I replied. Just order. After she left, Carl whistled low. Everything okay at home? Everything's in the box it belongs in, I replied. He grinned. That's a new tone. Get used to it, I said. That was my other initiative, on foreign turf. Work had a wall. My personal life didn't seep under the door. Wednesday, Tom texted, papers ready. Service Friday AM. You know the line. I did. Among other instructions, he told me to speak only one sentence. Everything else, route to him. Keep it clean. Thursday night, Emily made me my favorite pasta and said, maybe we should do a weekend away. Reset. I'll book a place by the lake. I forked a bite and set it down. I don't reset vacations, I said. I reset with behavior. She blinked. Is this punishment? It's clarity, I replied. I'm not going to throw money at a mood. She stared into the pot like there was an answer inside. You're being different. I started paying attention, I said. She reached across the table and covered my hand. I'm trying to fix whatever's got you twisted, she said. I'm here. That's good to hear, I answered. And we'll see. She held that last note, waiting for more. I let it die. She got up, scraped plates, left the pot to soak, and disappeared into the den with her phone. Friday morning, a process server handed her a manila envelope while she watered plants on the porch. The sprinkling can hit the concrete. Water splashed her flip-flops. She walked into the kitchen holding the documents like they smelled bad. What is this? She demanded. I closed the cabinet door. What it looks like. Are you kidding me? She snapped. You blindside me with this? After dinners and jokes. And what is wrong with you? I kept my hands still at my sides. Any questions, you run through my attorney. She threw the envelope on the table. So you're not even going to explain? I don't narrate my boundaries, I replied. You have a number. Use it. Her mouth twisted. You don't do this to someone you love. I exhaled. You don't do the things you've done to someone you respect. She took a step toward me, then away, grabbed the back of a chair like it was moving. This is insane. I'm not leaving. You will, I said calmly. Per the notice, you have 72 hours. I'll be at a hotel tonight and tomorrow to make it easy. Your things will be packed by Sunday. Lena offered to help with boxes. She looked like I'd spoken Martian. You're kidding. No, I said. I'm not lifting your stuff into a truck. I'll label it. You transport it. Where am I supposed to go? You have friends and a family. You'll figure it out. She shoved the envelope closer to me. You think everyone will take your side? You think people won't ask questions? They can ask. I'll say it didn't work, I said. That's all anyone gets. She paced, yanked open a drawer, grabbed scissors, put them down, put them back. Control looking for a knob. Finally, she pointed at me like a news anchor. If you walk out today, don't call me when you realize you overreacted. I picked up my keys from the ceramic bowl and slid them into my pocket. I'm not the one dialing wrong numbers. I left. Hotel, 2 nights. I read the paper. I went to the gym. I sent Tom the confirmation that service was complete. On Saturday night, I texted Lena, movie at my place tomorrow? Boxes will be out by noon. She replied, I'll bring popcorn. Sunday, the house felt like a waiting room. Emily had taken clothes, shoes, a jewelry box, the blender, The coffee maker she'd insisted on last Christmas, random mugs that didn't match. I'd boxed her photos and set the labels neat. At noon, a small moving van idled outside. Two of her friends carried boxes while she directed, chin high. "Don't bother coming out," she called into the doorway without looking at me. "We got it." "Good," I said. "Take your time." She looked up, startled by my tone. "No heat. Just finished." 20 minutes later, she stood at the threshold with a canvas tote on her shoulder. "You're throwing away something good," she said. I met her eyes. "You had something good and went shopping," I replied. "Now the bill's due." "Bill," she echoed, like the word insulted her. "Everything else is with Tom," I said. "Doors behind you." She inhaled like she might say more, then walked out. The van pulled away. The house settled. 5 p.m., Lena arrived with 2 bags of snacks and a stack of old comedies. She paused in the foyer, looked at the labeled empty spaces where boxes had been. "Orderly," she said. "I do tidy endings," I answered. She set the popcorn on the counter, looked at my face, and read the room. "Congratulations and condolences," she said, simple. "Which one are we leaning toward tonight?" "Congratulations," I replied. "I like clean tables." We watched movies until 2 in the morning. We talked about how you learn to hear your own voice after you've turned off the noise. She leaned into me once. I held the line. "I need to say a thing," I told her when she stood to leave. "I'm grateful. I won't forget what you did. But I'm not jumping into anything. Not this month, maybe not this year." She laughed softly. "Relax. I understand. But I won't promise to wait forever." "I'm not asking you to wait," I said. "Live your life." She hugged me and went home. I slept 8 hours for the first time in weeks. The month that followed was quiet in my house and loud on my phone. Emily messaged daily at first. "We need to talk. At least tell me why. Let's meet for coffee." I ignored it all. It wasn't cruelty. It was a principle. I meant what I said about running it through Tom. She called once from an unknown number. I let it ring, then texted back the attorney's info. She responded with a string of question marks, and then nothing. A week later, I heard she was staying with her sister on the east side and trying to find a sublet near her friend's place. Someone told me she'd changed jobs. I didn't chase details. I didn't celebrate. I filed it under consequences. Meanwhile, I worked. I took the earliest gym slot at 6 a.m. and got strong again. Saturdays, I rebuilt a battered workbench in my garage until it looked like something a father would hand a son. Vince dropped by and helped me hang shelves. "You seem lighter," he said, bracing a stud. "Less inventory," I replied. He chuckled. "Emily okay?" "She's finding her footing," I said. "I wish her well." From a distance. He nodded like he understood. "Because real people do." Lena and I saw each other often in daylight. Walks, lunches, no misunderstandings. She told me about a guy she was seeing, nice, steady, worked in IT, liked baseball and yard work. She described him with a content smile that looked good on her. I felt strangely relieved. "He know about this?" I asked, waving a hand at our shared joke pile of popcorn bowls and movie quotes. "He knows you're my friend," she replied. "He's grown. He gets it." "Good," I said. "You deserve normal." "So do you," she said. "And you're building it." By the time the divorce finalized, my house felt new. New coffee maker. New plates. Same table, but it looked like it belonged to me again. I replaced our bedroom rug with a simple one and moved the bed to the other wall to break patterns. The first night I slept in that new layout, I woke up rested and didn't immediately reach for my phone. Progress. The day the paperwork came through, Tom called. "It's done," he said. "You kept it clean." "I'm impressed." "I had help," I replied. "You had backbone," he countered. "Keep it." We grabbed lunch and didn't talk about it after the first 10 minutes. I paid. He complained about property taxes. Grown-up things. That evening, Lena texted a photo of a pizza and a note. "We're busy tonight. Double date. Proud of you anyway." She added a winking emoji. I laughed alone in my kitchen, poured myself a glass of water, and felt something that wasn't anger or grief. It was just space. If you ask me now what I learned, I'll give you the version fit for any table. I learned that kindness without boundaries is just an open bar for people who like to drink free. I learned that keeping your voice calm when your stomach flips is a muscle. You train it. I learned that the best apology I could give myself was action. Once, early on, I would have driven home from the airport grinning at the porch light and the smell of dinner and thought I'd built something unbreakable. Now, I drive home to a quiet house, a garage with tools hung straight, a schedule empty enough for a last-minute call from a friend to watch a game or help move a couch. I don't rush into rooms. I let rooms come to me. Emily texted one more time a week after the papers landed. Can we at least meet for closure? I typed a single answer. You got it. Signed copy attached. Then I attached it. That was the final boundary, paper and pixel. No sermon. No meetup. No moral of the story I owed her. My life is simple now. Mornings at the gym, days at the warehouse, Saturdays in the garage, Sundays with friends. A truck that starts when I turn the key. A house that smells like coffee and sawdust. A phone that rings for reasons I already know. Lena is around, but not like a promise. More like proof that there are people who walk toward the right thing when it costs them something. She's seeing someone who makes her laugh. I shake his hand at parties and mean it when I say, take care of her. He grins. She winks. We're adults. As for Emily, I heard she's renting a small place across town and sharing a car for now. I don't smile at that. I don't scowl either. It's her life to steer. The only part of it that involved me is over. The last time she showed up in my day was an accidental sighting at the grocery store. She was 2 aisles over discussing tomatoes with a friend. I turned down the hardware section, picked up batteries, and checked out. No drama. No eye contact. Back in my truck, I sat for a second and watched a father guide his kid across the lot with a hand on the shoulder, traffic moving around them. Clear rules. Calm tone. Safety and structure. It felt like a good metaphor, but I don't do metaphors, so I turned the key and drove home. If you're expecting a speech about forgiveness or a late-night change of heart, you'll be waiting in the wrong theater. I didn't slam any doors. I didn't burn any bridges. I just built my own road and took it. When the papers arrived and she demanded a reason, I gave her the only sentence anyone like me needs. Everything through my attorney. That line closed my book with her. My final words to myself were simpler: don't argue. Decide. And then I did.